Hi there and welcome back to my channel. This video is all about shadows. I have 4 simple versions and exercises that I want to share with you that will help you understand shadows and how shadows behave, especially when painting still life. Here we have 2 objects, 2 cubes in this painting. Here we have 2 objects. Here we have 1 object near a wall. And here we have a simple, lonely cube. Well, first I want to start with the background. I want to put some kind of a gray background. Let's mix brown, a little bit of blue, some kind of a neutral background. I like this, maybe a little bit more blue, a little bit more brown. That's it. Take a little bit of medium. And I just want to cover this as fast as possible. Now I want this surface, this table, for example, I imagined that these objects are sitting on a table. So, these 2 objects, I want the table here to be some kind of yellow or orange or something like that. Let's take yellow with red. Maybe a little bit of burnt sienna. Yes, it's good enough. I want to cover this fast. This is the table, the surface. Good enough. Now I want the light to be coming from here, hitting this cube from the front up to the left. Let's see. Maybe I will make the cube blue. Let's take blue. A little bit of white. Okay, I want this color to be the midtone of this cube. So the midtone will be here, okay? This will be the color of this cube. Now, the side facing up will be brighter, of course. So I will take a little bit of white, a little bit more. Okay. And I will cover the upper part of the cube. Now this side will be in shadow. It will be darker. So I will take blue one more time, white, and I will darken the blue using a little bit of brown, more blue. You see, it's darker now. This will be the shadow here, the dark side of the cube. Now I want this one behind, this cube, this thing behind, I want to cover it. Let's make it red with blue, violet. Some kind of violet. Maybe a little bit white. Yeah. This will be the side facing the light here. And here we will have the midtone, so I will make it darker. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. In this example, the shadow will be hitting the cube and casting shadow here. So what I need to do, because the table is orange, I need a darker orange. We will start with mixing a dark orange. Yes. So the shadow is hitting the cube from the front up. So let's say that we are painting this shadow. I will make it a little bit darker. So let's say we are painting the shadow here. And it's casting the shadow on this object. Maybe a little bit darker. Yes. Now, it's very important. When the shadow is closer to the object, it will be darker. Always, when we see a shadow near the object, the shadow will be dark. And it becomes more and more soft, lighter, and more blurry when we are here, far away. But near the object, it's sharp and darker. Even I will make it darker so it will be clear to you, like this. The shadow here is dark, and then it becomes lighter with a little bit of orange. I will take from the color of the table and put inside the shadow like this. So you see how the shadow is darker here. But there is another thing. The closer the shadow is to the object, it will be sharper. So I want to take from the background the color of the table and make it very sharp line here, you see? Very sharp line. What about here? So I will take a dry brush and make this area here softer, you see? It becomes soft and blurry. Now, why I put two objects? Because I want to show you how shadow behaves when it hits another object. So we have the violet here, the midtone that we used here. I will make it darker with blue and more red. Something like that. I will come here, you see the shadow is reaching this spot here. So the shadow here will be darker, even more. I will take more blue. It will be darker here. And the same like we did in the table, it will become softer here, out. You see? And it's sharper near the object, near the blue cube. So here I want it to be sharp, and outside it becomes soft and disappearing. Okay, this is the first example. Let's make this one here. Let's say this table will be some kind of sienna. Let me cover this with sienna. A little bit of blue. And here I want the background to be a little bit darker than before. Blue, burnt umber. I like it. Now I want this cube to be some kind of red. Let's take red. We can put it here. It doesn't matter. A little bit of yellow to make it stronger. Let's use, like here, the light is coming from up on the front, so I want this to be very strong here. And the upper side, I want it to be lighter, of course. This side will be a little bit darker. Some kind of mid-tone, maybe I will put a little bit of brown because it's more in the shadow. Yes, I like it. Okay. This cube, I want it to be green. I will take yellow, blue, more yellow. Beautiful. A little bit of medium. This will be the darker side. Here I will make it much lighter, brighter, sorry, with more yellow and a little bit of white because it's facing the light. Beautiful. And of course here will be up will be the brighter, so more white, more yellow. Okay, now I want to paint the shadow in this example. The shadow will be coming from here, hitting this cube. So let's see how the shadow behave here. I will take this red and I want it to become much darker. I will take brown, burnt umber, a little bit of blue, because I want the color of the table, but I want it darker. So burnt umber, a little bit of blue, we are we are at the same, using the same colors, because here it was burnt sienna and we used burnt umber, so we are at the same level of colors. Let's see. If the shadow is coming from here, it will cover this area here. And because the two objects are very close, one to another, we don't have enough space to make the shadow blurry. It's very close. So we don't need to make it soft. It's still very close, one object to the other. But there is something different here. I want to take this brush, smaller brush, take from this color, and we want a very sharp line of shadow here. You see? And this shadow is very sharp here because it's closer to the object. And we can make it a little bit blurry here. A little bit, because they are very close one to another. Now it becomes interesting, because this shadow will go up, will climb on this cube. So we need to use this color of this cube and make it a little bit darker. Look, we use this color here, and it will become a little bit darker. So blue, yellow, more yellow. I think it's enough. And we need to be very gentle now. Look, I take a little bit. The shadow is here. Let's say it begins climbing here. So this will become darker, because the shadow from the red cube is climbing this cube, the green cube. Maybe a little bit darker. And it will be darker here, because it's closer to the red cube. And it goes up and becomes softer. Here it will be very dark at the base, and when we go up, it will become softer and brighter a little bit. And I don't need to add a bright color, because it's wet. It's taking from the already existing color that we use. You see? But there's another thing. Because this cube is red, so there will be some kind of reaction between the two. First, I want to make it a little bit even darker here at this area. Nice. Now it's more convincing. Very nice. Now the reaction between the two, because this cube is red and this one is green, a little bit of the red will reflect on the green cube. Look, I will take a little bit of red from here, a little bit, a touch. And we will see this especially here on the outside corners of the shadow. We will see a little bit of red, you see? A little bit, a touch. You see. So, when two objects are very close one to another, there is always some kind of a reaction between them. The red will affect the green will affect the red, but we are not seeing the other side of the red, so we are not seeing the green hitting the red. We are seeing the red hitting the green. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's make this one the background. Gray. This one, I want this to be some kind of a wall. So the object will cast shadow on this wall. I want the wall to be a little bit brighter. This is fine. And the table, let's make it burnt sienna. Okay, I want the object to be red, pure red. On this side, pure red. This is the side facing the light, but not the brighter, because the brighter area will be here. I will take a little bit of red, white, and this will be the area in the shadow. So I'm taking this red here. We already have a dark mix. It's good enough. Now this cube will cast shadow here on this wall. So, as I said before, the shadow will be darker here, then a little bit brighter here, and the shadow will be sharper here with a sharp edge, then it will become blurry. Let's do that. I'm taking burnt umber with a little bit of blue to make it darker, and red. We will not feel the blue, but it will make the mixture much darker. Let's make the shadow coming from here and hitting the wall here. And to make this shadow here sharper, I'm taking from here and cutting it like this. I will take the small brush, a little bit medium, okay. Now the interesting part. The shadow will climb on this wall. So this is the color of the wall. I already have a little bit of red on my brush because the color of the cube will react with the shadow on the wall. And I will take a little bit, make it darker. Let's see. Beautiful. And this here will be very soft. You see? The same color of the background, but I put a little bit more red because it's reacting with this cube. Let's make the last one. I want this one, I will take the color of the table here, so we do not waste paint. Like this, maybe a little bit more blue and white. More blue. This is a nice color. Let's cover the table here. And the background, I want it to be a little bit lighter and more bluish. Let's make this cube strong green. The light is coming from here, so here will be brighter. Here will be bright, but not so much. And now the shadow here, the shadowy part. Okay, so I want the shadow to go there. Let's see one more time how shadow behaves. I'm taking, I want the same color of the table, but darker, which is some kind of violet. So I'm taking reds and blues. This is okay. Let's try this. And when we want to judge where the shadow ends, I imagine the cube from behind. So, here. I want to make it darker. More blue and red. Like I said before, the sharpness will be near the object. Now I will take a little bit from the color of the table and look how easy I clean this line. This. And it's much sharper now. And I take a bigger brush and start softening this area. Now, because this cube is green, so I want to put a little bit of green. I'm imagining the cube from behind, so I will add a touch a little touch of green, not near the object, here. Like I said before, it's always from the outside. A touch of green, you see? Now I want to show you one more thing. Because the color of this cube is green, it's very bright, the color of the table will react with the green. So let's take a little bit from the color of the table, even from here. I don't need to take from here. I can take from here, but when you are painting, you can take from the same table. And I want to put a little bit here and a little bit here. Will be brighter, so I'm mixing here because we are on the light, on the brighter side, like this, and blur like this. So I simplified everything in these exercises, but you will see the same effects when you paint still life. It doesn't matter how complicated the scene is, but the same principles will apply. I hope this video was interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. God bless you. See you next time.